Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 27th, 2022. Today I'm going to recap last night's WNBA Commissioner's Cup game, and then I'm going to recap yesterday's Major League Baseball games, look ahead to today's games. We'll look at tee times, and I'll make a pick for the Rocket Mortgage Classic. We'll do some more trade deadline talk, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with the WNBA today, just to change up the routine of the podcast, because they had the Commissioner's Cup game, the title game last night, as the Aces defeat the Sky by a score of 93-83 to take home the Commissioner's Cup championship. The Aces are 20-8. Chicago is 21-7. Kelsey Plum, 24 points and 6 assists in the victory. Candace Parker had 20-14 in defeat. The difference in this game was the first quarter, where the Aces outscored the Sky 33-14, and the Sky won the second quarter, won the third quarter, and tied the fourth quarter. So that first quarter was the difference in this game, as the Aces really laid the smackdown in that first quarter. And Plum had 12 of her 24 in that 33-point effort in the first quarter. So no games until Thursday, where we have 4 games. So we'll hold off on the WNBA until Thursday. All right, now I'll move on to Major League Baseball. We'll go over the results from yesterday. Look ahead to today's games. Cubs over the Pirates 4-2. The Cubs are 40-57. Pittsburgh's 40-58. Keegan Thompson to win. Bryce Wilson the loss. Michael Givens to save. Marlins over the Reds 2-1. The Marlins are 46-51. Cincinnati is 37-59. Pablo Lopez to win. Hunter Green the loss, and Tanner Scott the save. Tanner Scott and yet another trade candidate. Braves over the Phillies 6-3. The Braves are 59-40. Philly is 50-47. Spencer Strider to win. Aaron Nola the loss, and Kenley Jansen the save. Orioles over the Rays 5-3. The Orioles are 49-48. Back over 500. Tampa's 52-45. Keegan Aiken the win. Colin Pache the loss, and Jorge Lopez the save. Blue Jays over the Cardinals 10-3. The Blue Jays are 54-43. St. Louis is 51-47. Getting the win was Tim Meza, and the loss Jordan Hicks. So the Blue Jays really did break out from the 6th inning on against St. Louis's bullpen. Guardians over the Red Sox 8-3. The Guardians are 49-47. Boston's 49-49. Getting the win was Kirk McCarthy, and the loss was Josh Winkowski. So Boston at 49-49 with less than a week to go until the deadline. Mets over the Yankees 6-3. The Mets are 60-37. Yankees are 66-32. Taijuan Walker the win. Jordan Montgomery the loss, and Edwin Diaz gets the save. Padres over the Tigers 6-4-10. Padres are 55-44. Detroit 39-59. Getting the win for San Diego, it was Taylor Rogers, the loss Gregory Soto, and getting the save was Nick Martinez. Angels over the Royals 6-0. The Angels 41-56. Kansas City is 39-58. Getting the win was Jose Suarez, and getting charged the loss was Angel Zerpa. Brewers over the Twins 7-6. The Brewers are 54-44. Minnesota's 52-45. Josh Hader to win, and Tyler Duffy the loss. White Sox over the Rockies 2-1. The White Sox are 49-48. So they're over 500 ahead of the Red Sox now in the standings for the wild card. And Colorado's 44-54. Michael Kopech to win. Herman Marquez the loss, and Liam Hendricks the save. Athletics defeat the Astros 5-3. Wow, Astros lose again. So these teams are not taking advantage of the Yankees in their slump. Oakland's 37-63. Houston is 64-34. Frankie Montas to win. Luis Garcia the loss, and Lou Trevino the save. Diamondbacks over the Giants 7-3. The D-backs are 44-53. San Francisco's under 500 now. They're 48-49. Ian Kennedy to win, and Carlos Rodon the loss. Mariners over the Rangers 5-4. So best bet was a winner, courtesy of a walk-off sac fly by Carlos Santana. As Seattle's 53-45. Texas is 43-53. Eric Swanson the win, and Brett Martin the loss. So it was weird because Texas goes up 4-3, so it's a tie game going into the 9th. Texas scores 1 to make it 4-3, and then the Mariners come back with 2 in the 9th. A double by the catcher, Riley, and then the walk-off sac fly by Santana, so Best Bet barely sneaks out. And then the Nationals upset the Dodgers again, 8-3. Bad losses, back-to-back nights for the Dodgers. Washington's 34-65, LA is 64-32. Getting the win was Erasmo Ramirez, and the loss, Garrett Cleavinger. So the 3 best teams in baseball all lose again, but the Yankees, losing to the Mets, okay, the Mets are good. The Mets need those games. But losing to the Nationals and the Athletics, two of the 3 worst teams in all of baseball, unacceptable. I know the Yankees lost to the Reds too, and that's also unacceptable. But this is just as bad as the Yankees losing to the Reds. Those 3 teams, Oakland, Washington, and Cincinnati, are all going to be big sellers, and they're all going out there knocking off the best teams in baseball. Granted, Oakland's home, but they have the worst home field advantage probably in all of baseball. So yeah. Now we look ahead to today's games. 12:30, you have the Braves at the Phillies. Charlie Morton against Kyle Gibson as the pitching matchup. If I had to guess who's favorite, I'd say it's Atlanta. And they are -156. Phillies +132. Over under 8.5. Overs -122. Unders even money. Braves -1.5 is +106. Phillies +1.5 is -128. I'm going to go with the Phillies. They're 45.9 according to ESPN Analytics. And they're +132. So I think this is a bounce-back spot for Philly to take the rubber game. 1 o'clock, you have the Padres at the Tigers. Yu Darvish and Tariq Skubal. So a 10 a.m. game, essentially, for the Padres. They're -136. Detroit's +116. Over under 7. Overs -118. Unders -104. Padres -1.5 is +132. Tigers +1.5 is -160. This is a good one. So I'm going to go first half results, San Diego Padres +105. I think that is a steal. I know Scooball's going for Detroit, and he's been really good, but I love Darvish and the Padres here. 2 o'clock, you have the Angels and the Royals. Jansen Junk and Brad Keller. The Royals are -138. The Angels are +118. Over under 8.5. Overs -122. Unders even money. Royals +1.5 is -166. Royals -1.5 is +138. This is a tough one here. So I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the Royals first half run line, -0.5 at -102, but I don't feel good about it. Next up is the Twins at the Brewers. Chris Archer and Corbin Burns. That's a terrific pitching matchup. Brewers -210, Twins +176, over under 8, -110 each way. Twins +1.5 is -120, Brewers -1.5 is even money. I'm going with the under. Archer's been pretty good this year for Minnie, but Corbin Burns has been excellent for Milwaukee. White Sox Rockies at 3. Lucas Giolito and Antonio Senzatella. White Sox -136, Rockies +116, over under 11.5, -10 each way. White Sox -1.5 is +114, Rockies +1.5 is -137. My heart of hearts would say the under, but Giolito's been awful this year, and Senzatella hasn't been great either, so I'm going to go with the Rockies at +116. They're 52.3% to win according to ESPN Analytics, so I'm going with Colorado as an upset pick. Nationals-Dodgers. Nationals going for the sweep. Patrick Corbin and Andrew Heaney. Dodgers -300, Nats +245, over under 8.5, overs -118, unders -102. Nats +1.5 is +122, Dodgers -1.5 is -146. I think the over is juiced. So I'm going to go Dodgers -1.5 run line at -112. This is a big bounce back spot for the Dodgers, I think. 3:30, you have the Astros at the A's. Christian Javier and Cole Irvin. Good pitching matchup, too. Astros minus 198. Oakland plus 166. Over under 7. Over is minus 114. Under is minus 106. Astros minus 1/2 is minus 113. A's plus 1/2 is minus 106. I'm going with Oakland run line plus 1/2 at minus 106. I don't know if they'll win outright. I don't have the balls to pick it, but I'm going to go with the run line. Giants Diamondbacks. Logan Webb and Zach Gallen. Another good pitching matchup. Giants minus 116. Diamondbacks minus 102. Over under 7/2. Over is minus 114. Under is minus 106. Giants minus 1/2 is plus 136. Diamondbacks plus 1/2 is minus 164. We're getting the must-win territory for the Giants, who are now under 500 on the year. So I'm going to take them to get back to 500 at minus 116 on the money line with Logan Webb on the mound. Rangers Mariners. John Gray and Marco Gonzalez. Rangers minus 116. Mariners minus 102. Over under 8. Minus 110 each way. Rangers minus 1/2 is plus 132. Mariners plus 1/2 is minus 160. I think the wrong team is favored. One team's in contention. The other team is not. The Mariners are minus 102. I'm taking them to win. And they're 50.6% to win according to ESPN Analytics. 6:30, you have the Marlins at the Reds. Braxton Garrett and Luis Castillo. Luis Castillo's final start as a Red. The Reds are minus 154. Marlins plus 130. Over under 8. Over is minus 108. Under is minus 112. Marlins plus 1/2 is minus 170. Reds minus 1/2 is plus 140. I'm going with the under. I think Braxton Garrett will pitch well. And I think Castillo will be amazing. 7 o'clock, ESPN, Yankees, Mets. I believe it's the Sunday night crew. David Cone, Carl Ravitch, and Eduardo Perez. Because the game is not on the Yes Network. So, that's interesting. Now I have to check and see if SNY is airing it. And they are not. Or let's check Pix 11 just to make it clear that the game is exclusively on ESPN. And it looks like it is. So, Carl Ravitch, David Cone, and Eduardo Perez and Buster Olney on the call. One of the best series of the year. You have Max Scherzer, Domingo Germán in the series finale. The Mets are minus 180. The Yankees are plus 152. Over under 7. Over is minus 120. Under is minus 102. Yanks plus 1/2 is minus 150. Mets minus 1/2 is plus 125. I think this is the only time you're going to see the Yankees as an underdog this big. It's because of Max Scherzer against Domingo Germán, who nobody likes because of his off-the-field issues, who gave up 6-6, including 2 homers in Houston last week. I think Germán's just a placeholder in this rotation until Luis Severino gets back, or if they trade for somebody, which they probably will at this point. And the percentages reflect the line as well. So, for this game, as tempting as it is to pick the Yankees to win this game outright, I have to go with over 7, even though it's a juice number at minus 120. I think the Mets can score 7 by themselves in this game. I really do. And I think the Yankees, if Scherzer has a rough game, can get there as well. So I'm going to go with the over in this game. It's solely because of Domingo Germán, though. Next up, you have the Rays at the Orioles from Camden Yards. The Orioles going for a sweep. Drew Rasmussen and Tyler Wells. Rays minus 118. Orioles even money over under 8. Minus 110 each way. Rays minus 1/2 is plus 140. Orioles plus 1/2 is minus 170. I'm going with Baltimore at even money. They're 49.7% to win according to ESPN Analytics. So I'm going with the Orioles at even money. Cardinals, Blue Jays. Blue Jays going for the sweep. Adam Wainwright and Kevin Gausman. Blue Jays minus 260. Cardinals plus 215 over under 8. Over is minus 108. Under is minus 112. Cardinals plus 1/2 is plus 104. Blue Jays minus 1/2 is minus 125. For this game, I know getting Adam Wainwright at over 2-1 is great value by itself. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with the Cardinals plus 215. You're never going to get the Cardinals at the price for the rest of the season. The only reason why they're that price is because Arenado and Goldschmidt are not in Toronto. And then last but not least, you have the Guardians at the Red Sox. Cal Quantrill and Nathan Eovaldi. Is it Eovaldi's last start as a Red Sox? The Sox are minus 130. The Guardians are plus 110 over under 8.5. Over is minus 115. Unders minus 105. Guardians are plus 1.5 is minus 176. Red Sox minus 1.5 is plus 146. I'm going to go with the over in this game. I think that the Red Sox bullpen and the Guardians bullpen might be attacked a little bit by the hitters, so I like the over 8.5 at minus 115. Alrighty, now move on to golf. We have the Rocket Mortgage Classic coming up starting tomorrow, so we're going to go through the tee times from Detroit Golf Club. At 6:45 a.m., you have James Hahn, Cam Piercy, Jonathan Bird, Ryan Moore, Patrick Rogers, and Aaron Baddeley. At 6:56 a.m., you have Stefan Yeager, Taylor Moore, Wyndham Clark, Mark Hubbard, Ryan Henley, and Brandon Haas. At 7:07, you have Siwoo Kim, Kramer Hickok, Sam Ryder, Dylan McCarthy, Mackenzie Hughes, and Jeff Ogilvy. At 7:18, you have Cam Davis, Nate Lashley, Ryan Brem, Michael Thompson, Tony Finau, and Robert Streb. At 7:29, you have Ricky Fowler, Stuart St. Webb Simpson, Jason Day, Danny Willett, and William McGirt. At 7:40, you got Cam Champ, Cheng Sun Pong, Kevin Tway, Nate Taylor, Patrick Cantlay, and Gary Woodland. At 7:51, Patton Kizzire, Seb Straka, Lucas Donald, Zach Johnson, Matt Kuchar, and Brandon Gay. 8:02, Brian Gray. Max McGreevy, Camilo Vegas, Austin Cook, Scott Gachensky, Jonathan Vegas, Kelly Craft, and Camilo Villegas. 8:13, Lucas Hodges, Hayden Buckley, Harry Higgs, Scott Stallings, Taylor Pendrith, and Kiradek from Bonat. 8:24, Matt Wallace, Brandon Hagee, Ryan Ramore, Russell Knox, Roger Sloan, and John Huh. 8:35, Vincent Wheeler, Taylor Gainey, Joseph Brumlett, Ben Martin, Peter Malnati, Luke Guthrie. 8:46, Justin Lauer, Chris Nagel, Jared Wolf, Austin Smotherman, Ben Coles, and Morgan Hoffman. And the last of the morning window, 8:57, Michael Giljick, Nick Hardy, Grayson Sigg, Callum Tarrant, Ben Cook, and Eric Flores. 12:10, Henrik Norlander, Sahith Thiglia, Brandon Wu, Brian Stewart, Bayo Hostler, and Sangul No. 12:21, Hank Lebioda, Davis Riley, Adam Svensson, Danny Lee, Sodi Kodiara, and Sean O'Hare. 12:32, Kurt Katayama, Bryce Garnett, Alex Smalley, Rory Sabatini, David Lipsky, and Chasen Headley. 12:43, Harry English, Ryan Palmer, Will Zalatoris, Cam Young, Tyler Duncan, and Davis Love III. 12:54, Joel Dahman, Trey Mullinax, Grayson Higo, Luke List, Max Homa, and Matt Trainer. Gary Higo. 105, Adam Scott, Lucas Glover, Kevin Kisner, Keegan Bradley, Dylan Fratelli, and Sung-Hoo Kang. 116, J.J. Spawn, Richie Wierenski, Andrew Landry, Chad Ramey, Charlie Hoffman, and Camp Triangle. 127, Doug Gim, Adam Schenk, Troy Merritt, Robert Garrigus, Vincent Taylor, and Brendan Steele. 138, Joo Hyung Kim, Nate Latney, Kevin Strowman, Scott Piercy, Chris Kirk, and Kevin Chappell. 149, Wesley Bryant, Doc Redmond, Bo Van Pelt, Adam Hadwin, Matthias Schaub, and Maverick McNeely. 2 o'clock, Bo Hogg, Wyatt Worthington II, Seth Reeves, Paul Barjon, Brandon Matthews, and Brett Druitt. 211, Jim Noes, Joshua Creel, Chase Seifert, Cole Hammer, Dylan Wu, and Michael Thorbjornsson. 222, Cam Thompson, Andrew Novak, KK Limhost, Dolby Vanderwalt, Chris Goddard, and David Skins. And that's it. All right, a winner. I have somebody in my mind, but if he's the favorite, I don't know if I'll pull the trigger on it. This is somebody that is always in the mix in these types of tournaments. Oh, and he's favored. Damn it. I don't want to pick the favorite. I just don't like picking favorites. But I'll go with somebody else then. I wanted to pick Patrick Cantlay. He's 10-1. Not going to do it. I'm going to go with Webb Simpson at 33-1. Just a different pick. So I'm going to go with Webb Simpson at 33-1 to win the 2022 Rocket Mortgage Classic. All right, now I'm going to talk a little bit of trade deadline stuff. We are less than a week away now. Again, we'll start at the American League East, and we'll start at the team that is the most interesting, in my opinion. That's the Boston Red Sox. According to the Boston Globe, Bogarts or Devers are not expected to be traded ahead of the deadline. That is to be expected. It would be more dramatic if they were on the market, but you never know. Somebody can swoop in with the Godfather offer. Maybe Soto still, and then a team that is desperate, that loses out on Soto, will go get one of those guys. Like, say if Soto goes to the Yankees, and let's say that the Padres are desperate, or something like that. Oh, wait, they already have a shortstop and a third baseman, so that wouldn't make that much sense. So I guess we'll use that. We'll say if the Padres land Juan Soto, the Cardinals miss out. They could use a shortstop. What if Xander Bogaerts, they say, hey, let's go pivot to Xander Bogaerts. We'll give them a Godfather offer. Like, the Red Sox got to consider that. Say if Soto goes to the Yankees or the Padres and the Cardinals miss out. So, that would be very interesting. Or the Dodgers get Soto or somebody like that. So, the Cardinals, I think, are the best bet to potentially go for Devers or Devers wouldn't make sense. They have Arenado, but they're the best bet to go for Bogarts in my mind. And the best bet to go for Devers is somebody that can use an upgrade at third base and has the utmost confidence that they're going to sign him long-term, like what the Braves did with Matt Olson in the offseason. So, I can't pinpoint the team. Maybe the Yankees if they want to get rid of Donaldson's contract, or Minnesota. They could upgrade at third base. Maybe that's a Devers possibility. Or the Dodgers if they want to upgrade from Justin Turner So, like, there's options out there for Devers, but, like, you have to think outside the box for him on, like, Bogarts. Because I think there are some candidates for Bogarts, like the Cardinals, who can use an upgrade at the shortstop position. So, that's something to monitor for sure. So, the Yankees, Mad Dog Russo on High Heat yesterday said that they are a near guarantee to land Luis Castillo. I think that's a stretch. I don't think Russo is the smartest person in the world. He's somebody that has been notoriously wrong on predictions in the past. He is a known San Francisco Giants fan and a known Yankees hater. And I'm not just saying that because yours truly here is a Yankees fan. I just know that because I've listened to Mike and the Mad Dog in the past, and like there's a bunch of clips about Russo having a fun time after, let's say, the Yankees blow 3-0 series lead to the Red Sox in 2004. So I think he's just doing it to try to jinx it. But if Russo's right, congratulations. But and to be fair, Russo also is an analyst on MLB Network, and he's got to be honest with things. But I know in his heart of hearts, he's not rooting for the Yankees to acquire Luis Castillo. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So we'll see if Mad Dog's right or not. I doubt it. And it's also rumored that the Yankees and the Marlins have not stopped calling the Pirates about Brian Reynolds. The Yankees badly want an outfielder as like a long-term insurance in case Judge doesn't re-sign or to get an upgrade over Joey Gallo. So we'll see about that. So we'll see about the AL East. The Orioles, I think, are a buyer, possibly. Maybe they're a dark horse for Juan Soto, but I don't think the Nats would trade him in-state, essentially. So the Rays, I keep banging the drum for them to get C.J. Cron. And the Blue Jays, I think, need to make a move in their rotation. They're in the Castillo sweepstakes, but I don't think they have the assets like the Yankees do to get them. The AL Central, the White Sox are back over 500. We'll see what they do. The Tigers are in full sell mode as they're willing to trade Tariq Skubal and just about everyone, according to Ken Rosenthal. And then you have the Royals, who are obviously going to probably trade Andrew Benintendi. But I think there's going to be teams skeptical about Benintendi because of his vaccination status. So we'll see about that. The Twins, I think, need a pitcher. They should be in the Castillo sweepstakes as well. Maybe they'll get a reliever. They can use somebody like David Robertson or Joe Mantiply. So we'll see about that. And then I think we're missing somebody in the Central. Oh, the Guardians. We talked about yesterday about Zach Plesac potentially being on the move. I don't think they'll trade Shane Bieber. AL West. So here's a good one. Shohei Ohtani. His name's been floated out there. And the Mets checked in on Ohtani. Boy, would he fill two holes for them. In their rotation, and as a middle starter, and in their outfield. Or DH. That's two holes that would be filled if he were to be a New York Met. And it would make that rivalry with the Yankees all that more interesting. The Astros, they're in the Castillo sweepstakes. They're always going for it. They're probably the team to beat right now in the American League despite losing to Oakland. Oakland's going to sell. You know, Montas is out the door. I think Paul Blackburn's going to the Astros. I mean, it'd be only fitting if he were to go there because they hooked him up for the All-Star game. Seattle's going to buy. They're in the Soto sweepstakes. They're probably in the Castillo sweepstakes as well. And then Texas is interesting. I think John Gray can be had. So keep an eye out for that. And at least we talked about the Mets and their pursuit of Ohtani. I think Ohtani's more likely for them than Castillo, personally. And the Braves, 2 targets on top of their list are Andrew Benintendi and Luis Castillo. And then speaking of the Mets, they talked to the Cubs about a deal that could send Wilson Contreras and David Robertson to the Mets for multiple prospects. So that would be a huge deal. That would put the Mets, to me, as the team to beat in that division over Atlanta. They badly need a reliever. So that would be a great package for the Mets. And then the Marlins are ready to make deals. As they say, everyone not named Alcantara is available. So this means could Jazz Chisholm be on the move? Garrett Cooper? Pablo Lopez? And then there's an executive that told MLB Network that the Nationals get the biggest package you'll ever see in return for a player regarding Juan Soto. And that's the biggest story in baseball right now. What's next for Juan Soto? And obviously Josh Bell can be had. They want to get rid of Corbin. They probably want to get rid of Strasburg, unfortunately for him. But there's no one on the Nationals roster that's untouchable. So it's going to be interesting to see here what happens. We talked about the Cubs. We didn't even get into the Phillies. They could use a starter as well. Probably like a middle guy like a John Gray. They traded with the Rangers last year for Kyle Gibson, so I could see them making a move for John Gray. The Cubs, there's apparently teams that have Contreras concerns that he may have to play a new position if traded, with multiple teams worried he won't mesh with new pitchers. So that's interesting. That might hurt his trade value a little bit, and that might help a team that's going to potentially acquire him. Maybe that team that wants to get him is trying to lower the price or something. Because this is also lying season in Major League Baseball, as we know. The Cardinals, they're going to be in play for a starter. Milwaukee needs offense. Maybe they could get Josh Bell. That would be a good pickup for them. Pirates, Brian Reynolds, we talked about them and how the Yankees and the Marlins won't stop calling about him. David Bendar, I think, will be on the move. And then the Reds, obviously Castillo's gone. Maile will probably be gone. Brandon Drury could be on a different team. We'll see where he lands. And then the National League West, the Dodgers are in play for Castillo and Soto. They're always in play for the big stars, as we know. The Giants might be a seller. Maybe Carlos Rodon's on the market. That would be a good Met. He would be a good Yankee. He'd be good on the Phillies. He'd be good a lot of places. Atlanta. I love the Atlanta fit for Carlos Rodon. Diamondbacks, they're going to be a seller. They'll probably trade Joe Mantiply. David Peralta's probably going to be on the move finally, because you hear his name in trade rumors every year. But nobody wants to bite. Maybe because Arizona's asking for a large return. Maybe Charlie Blackmon will get traded from Colorado. We'll see what else Colorado can do at the deadline. And then the Padres will obviously be a buyer. They're easily the second best team in that division. They're in play for Castillo. Maybe. Soto, they're definitely in play for. But I say Castillo because I think the Padres are always looking to upgrade. Like, they always want to upgrade. And I think they're the leader in the pack for Soto if they were to make the move now, because if you put Abrams and Mackenzie Gore on the table, then Juan Soto is going to be a San Diego Padre. And the Nats get a crazy return with those two players. And I mean crazy as in crazy good. So there's your trade deadline chatter for the day. Now we're just going to go over the rest of the news and notes for today. Well, we'll start with baseball. Giancarlo Stanton on the 10-day injured list with tendonitis. Tim LeCastro recalled. That's a big loss for the Yankees. They missed him in yesterday's game. Or else they probably don't win, but they come close. Maybe they score 5 runs instead of 3 runs or whatever. But they'll miss Stanton. They'll miss him. The injuries are hitting hard for this team. They already missed Michael King. They need a reliever. Stanton's going to be out a while, potentially. They don't have Luis Severino. And the reason why the Yankees had the best record in baseball, still do, courtesy of the Dodgers and the Astros also losing last night, is because they avoided injuries. Now they have 3 big injuries with Severino, Stanton, and obviously Michael King. So Fernando Tatis Jr. was on the field doing batting practice for the first time since his wrist surgery. That's good news for San Diego, as they can use him back. So Ian Happ and Wilson Contreras had a dugout moment after their possible final game together at Wrigley. So that was a emotional moment for those 2 players. So Albert Pujols got a standing ovation in Toronto as the fans salute to him, as it's obviously his last year. So the San Francisco Giants had a little meltdown in their dugout last night as Carlos Rodon kicked the bat in frustration that knocked down Thairo Estrada. Yikes. Donovan Mitchell was tweeting in-game during the Yankees-Mets game. Obviously a noted Mets fan, and obviously everyone that's a Knicks fan that's both a Yankees and a Mets fan, because I think the Knicks and the Rangers have the mixture of the 2 fan bases in them in terms of the baseball teams. So I think a lot of Met and Yankee fans are Knicks fans, so they're probably all excited to see that. And obviously Mitchell is a noted Met fan, as I just mentioned. Drew Jones could miss the year after injuring his shoulder after suffering the injury in batting practice. And they're not even sure if he'll be back in time for spring training next year, which is crazy. The big WNBA story mentioned on yesterday's show, we'll certainly talk about it with Jeff Maglicetti, as the Sparks released a statement confirming it has amicably agreed to a contract divorce with Liz Cambage. That is just brutal. We'll see where she lands. I wonder if the Liberty are going to be in play for her. They should. But we'll talk about that with Jeff Maglicetti, as I'll have him on tonight's podcast. NBA news. Juancho Hernan-Gomez agrees to a 1-year deal with the Raptors, so a good depth piece for the Toronto Raptors. The LA Kings to retire Dustin Brown's number next February, so that is pretty cool to see his number get retired. And some football news. Joe Burrow had his appendix removed, as he'll miss some practice time. So I'm sure he'll be back in a couple weeks. Chris Godwin cleared for camp after going ACL surgery on January 3rd. So that is good news for the Buccaneers. And speaking of the Buccaneers, they signed Julio Jones. That is a great signing for the Rams. I'm sorry, for the Bucs. I had the Rams in my mind because I thought about Odell Beckham Jr. and the impact he had on the Rams. This is what this reminds me of. Disgruntled wide receiver, wants to join a contender. He gets it. I think Julio is going to be a great add for the Buccaneers, who I think have to be considered in the conversation to win the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold is cool with Baker Mayfield. He's ready to have fun competing with Mayfield for the starting quarterback job. Chris Carson's retiring, the Seahawks running back, due to a neck injury, as the team will release him so he can collect millions in benefits. So now the Seahawks have a hole at running back, unless they think Rashad Penny is the answer. So Minka Fitzpatrick had a biking accident and will begin camp on the non-football injury list after injuring his wrist on vacation. That's not good news for Pittsburgh. Marquise Brown on injury reserved as the new Cardinals addition will begin camp on the non-football injury list due to a hamstring injury. More to the PUP list. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, undisclosed injury, as he missed time last year, shoulder injuries, and the MCL issue last year. And the Giants placed 3 on the PUP list. Sterling Shepard, Nick Gates, and Matt Pert. And Azeez Ojulari placed on the non-football injury list. And last but not least, some Jimmy G news. He passes his physical as he's cleared to practice after having shoulder surgery on March 8th. And Deebo Samuel, John Lynch had productive talks with Deebo's agent. Something is going to happen in the near future. So hopefully they get an extension done. If I'm the Niners, I keep Deebo Samuel. Keep him. You want to contend, right? So you keep Deebo Samuel. If not, then you trade him, trade Garoppolo, and let Trey Lance run the show. But then again, if you want Trey Lance to run the show, you want Deebo Samuel there so you could have a piece around him. So it's going to be interesting with the Niners this year, obviously. And last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. Best bet was a winner last night with the over in the Ranger-Mariner game. So today, I'm going to lay a half unit this is a tough one. I know it's at minus 122, but I might go over 7. So I might actually do a quarter unit on this one only because it's a minus 122 number. So I'm going to lay a half unit on over 7 between the Yankees and the Mets. I just think that's a no-brainer. Herman's not good, so I like over 7 and minus 122. A little bit of a bump. Paying a little extra to get the over in the Yankee-Met game with a quarter of a unit. So there you have it. The show is over for today. I'll be back tomorrow going over the leaderboard for Rocket Mortgage Classic, and then we'll get into the Live. As they'll be playing from Bedminster at the Trump National Golf Club. So we'll do a little Live. And obviously baseball, WNBA, more trade deadline talk, news and notes, and best bet. Don't forget to check out my show with Jeff Maglicetti tonight as we'll talk some WNBA, NASCAR, and the captain. So hope you guys have a great day, everyone.